Alright, so in this video we're checking out the SPCMaker Bat78 HD. This comes in two versions. This is the HD version, and then there's just the Bat78, the regular version. So this HD version comes with the RunCam Nano 3 Whoop Edition to record your HD video. If you get the non-HD version, that just comes with the RunCam Nano 2 camera, which looks very similar in terms of the pictures, but that one only gives you analog video, no HD video. In addition to the two main versions, it also comes in two different motor power versions. So this one here comes with these 1103 11,000 kV motors. It also comes in a version with 1103 8,000 kV motors, and they're saying that the 8,000 kV motor version is capable of 3 to 4S, and then this 11,000 kV version is capable of 2 to 3S. So I flew it on 2 and 3S batteries. So you got 40mm GemFan 1636 props here. The flight controller that's kind of buried under the, well, it's actually right there. You can kind of see it in this little space. It's a Whoop style flight controller, all-in-one, 4-in-1 ESC and flight controller combo on a single board, and the ESCs are 20 amps. And then the top board there is the RunCam Nano Whoop. That's that record button there. And then the SD card slot's right there. Kind of hard for the camera to focus. And the video transmitter is tucked in away in the back here, and it's a nano video transmitter, 25 to 400 milliwatts, power switchable. And then basically this frame here is a one-piece frame, and they sent me a spare frame to show you guys what it looks like. It's a unibody polycarbonate. It's not polycarbonate, I guess it's like plastic frame. It looks like this, and all the parts go in there. So you got your, basically your flight controller goes inside there, and along with the RunCam Nano Whoop camera, and then the video transmitter goes in the back here. I'll put up a little photo of what the internals looks like. Basically, yeah, if you just take off this carbon plate here with these screws, then it reveals the camera, the flight controller, and RunCam Nano Whoop board, and then the video transmitters in the back here. So it's a pretty simple design, elegant layout, very compact. So in the back here you got a buzzer and you got your LEDs. Pretty much all SPCMaker models come with this setup here. You got your receiver antennas popping out of the back here. This is the XM Plus version, so it comes in FreeSky, Futaba, Spectrum, and of course no receiver version. So obviously the receiver versions are going to be a little more than the plug-and-play receivers. You can see the whereas the receiver is down here at the bottom, and then the bind button is right there. So the bind button should be accessible from the bottom here. So in the box you do get some spare rubber bands and also some spare foam. So that's these parts here on the bottom. So in case they wear out, you do have some spares of those, as well as some spare screws, and you get some stickers as well. And then you also get this micro USB cable. It's got a little longer lead there, in case your cable can't reach the USB port there, because it is a little bit kind of buried. So they do include this extra long USB cable. I think this part right here is a little bit longer than usual. And this is how much it weighs with no battery. It's 59.2 grams. I flew it on 3 different batteries, 2S 450 Tattoo, and that together it's coming at 88.4, and then I tried this 3S 300 milliamp hour Happy Model battery, and that's coming in at 84 grams. And then there's this 3S 450 Tattoo, and that's coming in 99.6 grams. So the pit tune on here I think is actually meant for 3S, and if you want like the full power or the full potential of this machine, you're going to want to fly it on a 3S battery, and I recommend at least a 450. If you go to a 300, if you do any kind of like power moves, or even if you're just kind of cruising around, especially something like this, this is a pretty bad battery actually, and it will. This thing draws a lot of amps at 11,000 kV, so you're going to. I think I got the battery warning like 30 seconds into the flight on this one, and you can get more flight time on this one before the battery warning will kick in. It kicks in pretty quick even on this one as well, but not nearly as quick, maybe like a minute in, and then you're probably limited about if you're doing a lot of like hard moves, flying super fast, a lot of hard in the throttle. You could drain this battery, even the 450, in probably under 2 minutes. Now, if you're kind of just cruising around, and just taking some nice HD footage, going through some tree canopies, you can definitely stretch out the flight longer. Even on the 2S 450, it could get up to 3 minutes of flight if you weren't really hard on the throttle. Now, if you want to do any kind of acro or anything, which is, this machine really doesn't do that so great, you could probably on the you want to do it on the 453S, you can probably, with a little bit of acro, maybe get about 2 minutes of flight. So regarding the acro capability of this, it's basically limited because of the fact that you got a very small 40mm propeller and the weight is fairly high at 59 grams. You may be able to do more acro with the non-HD version, which weighs, I think, 6 or 7 grams less, like 53 grams, I believe, is what they're listed at. I don't have that, so I can't confirm that, but that'll definitely weigh less than this one. It's the power to weight ratio that determines the yaw washout that happens. So when you're doing any kind of like power loops or split S's where you're coming down, especially if the battery is toward the end of the pack, you're going to get a huge voltage, basically voltage sag, and then the lack of voltage causes the yaw wash because the motors, like usually in the back, can't spin up fast enough because of the voltage sag, and then you get the dipping or the yaw washout, or sometimes you just crash. So this machine here, it weighs about 11 grams more than the Mobula 7 HD, which is kind of similar in specs and size, but this one here is a lot heavier. Obviously it's like about 11 grams more. You could basically get a tougher frame here. This frame is much tougher than the Mobula 7 HD frame, and because the frame is more solid, you don't get any jello in the video. At least I didn't see too much jello in mine. That is a benefit of having a more robust frame. It's going to not vibrate as much. So this one didn't vibrate as much as my Mobula 7 HD. I know that a lot of people got Mobula 7 HDs that didn't get jello like mine did, and then it's possible you might get one of these and it might have jello. So it really depends on the tune and everything. You might want to adjust the tune on yours if you're getting jello, but this one's pretty tough. I mean, these ducks are going to be able to take a beating, a lot of crashes. I had crashed a few times, and you're going to get some, actually to the sidewalk, you're going to get some scuffs and stuff here if you crash into the sidewalk and stuff, but you can just kind of scrape off the little scratches and stuff. It's not a big deal. But yeah, this frame's pretty robust if you're worried about crashing, and it's, I think that's where the extra weight comes from. But at the same time, because of the extra weight, you're limited in terms of what your acro capabilities are. So I would limit this to cruising around, maybe flying fast, low to the ground, which is totally fine. So if you want to go faster, you can just adjust the camera angle up. It's pretty easy to do that. The screw's not too tight, so you can raise it all the way up to about that high, which is, I would say, about 35-40 degrees, and you can bring the camera angle all the way down to the bottom like that, which is almost flat. So like indoors, for example, on 2S, it flies great, nice and slow, and you can cruise around. Yeah, it's a pretty good tune, even on 2S, although I think the tune is actually meant for 3S. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to link the full flights down in the description if you want to check those out, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.